Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday in the Minion's Lair with Eionan. How's everybody doing today? I'm pretty excited. We got a pretty cool show lined up. I'm going to start with some welcomes, greetings, things like that. And then I will get my special guest in here for today. I got a lot to talk about in a short period of time. So let's see who we have in here tonight. Of course, my man Michael Morgan is in here, throwing out some hints. If you didn't already check out some of the pre-show links that have been floating around. We got Copperlight Steve. It says, we want him and we want him now. Here I am, baby. Here I am, bananas. All right. Let's see. Stacy Bolster Blades is in here, throwing out some greetings as well. Can't stay but stopping by. Take care. We love you. We love you too. One of my other mods, Bama Ninja's in here. He says, Eionan and friends. Crispy Critter. I've been talking a little bit to him back and forth behind the scenes today. Carcode, talking to him a little bit too. Awesome. Alan Gray Wolf is here. It'll start to fill up. No worries. Michael Morgan says, minions assemble. That is true. It's assemble. I grew saying assemble. So assemble, minions. Let's see who else we got in here. Gonzo's in here as well. I like it. I'm here, but in secret squirrel mode. Lurk, 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 lurk. I like that. It's cool. All right. Byron Kennedy, longtime minions in the house as well. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir, for stopping in tonight. We really appreciate you. Nick's here as well. Those of you who paid attention, he's hanging out backstage with me. Joe Isabella says, hey, what's up, all you beautiful people? Thank you, Joe, for stopping in, spending part of your Tuesday evening with me. Before I continue with the shout outs to the people in the live stream, I just want to thank everyone who logs into the broadcast every Tuesday night, whether you watch it live here and you are a part of the chat, you lurk, you listen only, whether you replay it, listen to it in your car, whatever it may be. I really appreciate you guys each and every week stopping in here. It's always fun to spend some time with you, and I always appreciate you spending part of your Tuesday evenings here in the Minion's Lair with me, the evil genius. Anyway, Dopey is here throwing out some greetings. A lot of people greeting each other. That's cool. I like that. Women Outdoors is in here as well. Got a good show for you guys today, so stick around if you can, because like I said, I got a special guest coming up pretty soon. There'll be some of the usual silliness that we have every week, but some cool information coming up, right? Copperlight must have gone out and come back in. He's throwing out some greetings as well. Alan Graywolf throwing out some greetings. I dig that. Dawn Ray is in the house. What's up, Dawn? Dawn has a cool little channel. You should go check her out. She's living her dream up there on the East Coast. Native Wild. Whoa, this chat just jumped on me. Native Wild Man, my good man, Shane, is here in the house. Long-time minion, long-time supporter. He says, hello, on his Edge and Mrs. Edge. Prayers and love for you too. I will give a update on that in a little bit, probably middle to later part of the show, I think. One Moon's in here as well. What's up, One Moon? Welcome to the Minion's Lair. Thanks for stopping back in this week. We appreciate having you here. Appreciate the support. All right, so while you guys keep throwing up your greetings and high-fiving each other and all that, I'm going to do a couple of quick shout-outs. I want to shout out my lovely wife, Mrs. Edge. She just finished radiation this past Friday. 6 weeks of that after 9 months of chemo. She's doing pretty well. Things are going okay. She does have some side effects from the chemo, some sunburn type side effects, plus some problems with her throat. She's having a little bit of issues with that. She's doing pretty good. But besides shouting her out, I'd like to shout out Mattisfaction. I'm glad things are going better with him. Shout out Uncle Cow, Josh, who watches every week and is hopefully soon to be getting in a new situation in his life. So, brother, we're all hoping for you and praying for you to have things turn around for you very, very soon. Darnell B still not able to get on the live streams, but we're thinking about you, brother, and we hope that everything goes really well in the future. And I would love to have you back. So we miss you a lot. All right. And then anybody else out there who's down, who's struggling physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is, just know that the knife, if you're part of the knife community, we're thinking about you. And we want to see you back here and hanging out with us as soon as possible. So we very much appreciate that. Let's see. Mike Reese is in here too. He says, hey, party people, driving the kids to the park. That's okay, Mark. We appreciate you listening. But while we're on the subject of that, if you are physically here and you can, please don't forget to hit the like button for me down there. It really helps that you guys throw likes out. Helps my channel analytics besides the view time. Who else do we have? There's Mike Reese right there. Sorry, Mike Reese. Lord Needham is in here. There he is. He says, hello, minions. It is rare that I get to catch you all here. Well, you're right, but we're happy that you're in here. We're going to take a look at some stuff later that Lord Needham probably contributed to. That is the Minions Carry Knife segment. And I hope that you'll be able to stick around. Let's see. Glad your wife is doing well. She is. And Neil McKenzie's in here. He says, it's my birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to Neil. Neil and made the journey up to the Arizona Knife Meetup this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that too. And some of the things that happened up there, which should be fun if we get a chance to get to that. And who else we got? Mattisfaction. Speaking of that, Mattisfaction is in the house. I was just throwing a shout out to you, Maddie. So thank you for being here, man. Appreciate it very much. Shout out to Darnell. Yes, Darnell, Mrs. Edge, Maddie, and his folk, and Uncle Cow. So hopefully everything's going really well. Some love going out to Mrs. Edge. Greetings, greetings, greetings all around. So here's what I would like you to do. I would like you guys that are in here, because there's 24, 25 of you, to start throwing out your pocket checks. Let me know what you guys carried in your pocket today. I did not really leave the house except for early this morning. So I have more of a smorgasbord of knives. I will show those off in a few minutes. But go ahead and throw your pocket checks up for me. I would really appreciate you guys doing that. If you paid attention to my placard today, you know that I'm having a very special guest back for the second time. Going to give us some information. He is a fellow evil genius, but he's a little more of a genius because he is a knife designer, creator, and a very talented guy. I was very fortunate enough to reach out to him last year and talk to him about some of his knife designs. Turns out he's a great guy, and I'm glad that I got to know him a little bit. So I would like to have everyone on the channel welcome in Nick Riggi from Riggi Knives.
Hello, all.
Hey, Nick. How's it going, my friend?
Very good. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, of course. No worries. It's my pleasure. So we got a bunch of things to talk about today. We're certainly going to talk about the jersey, which is coming up for you. And I know you've got some updates on that. And maybe we can talk about a few other things that you have in the pipeline. Obviously, I follow you and your channel and your Instagram. So I know that you've got some other things that you've been having a lot of fun developing lately. So hopefully we can get to all that in the broadcast.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Instead of reading out pocket checks today, I'm going to just post them up on the screen so that Nick and I can talk a little bit and hopefully give you guys some interesting information. We'll still do some of the other stuff that we do in the broadcast, including some short story time at the end. But I thought today was an interesting opportunity to have you back on the show as you draw a little closer to getting the production knives in hand and hopefully out to everyone this spring. So I guess we can start with that if you want to just give us a kind of a quick update, and then we can jump into more of it later.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so there are some updates, right? I know we've been talking about this for a while. Seems like forever. These knives have seen some delays. I guess, overseas there are some different delays for various reasons. So, I'm not going to kind of sugarcoat or beat around the bush. There is another slight delay that I just heard of literally today. These knives were supposed to be in my hand and out to you guys in your hands already, but there's going to be about a 30-40 day delay, and there's a reason for it. The reason is in the final production checks, QC checks that were going on, they found about 100 blades that had some minor imperfections. And I actually have some video I'll show you later that they sent me. So that's the bad news, right? Is that there was some minor defects. They're not going to put them out. I certainly don't want them because I don't want to put them out to anybody who's paying money to get anything. That's the good and bad news, but I took it as a good thing where these guys over at Shielded Knives are that conscientious, because when I show you the pictures of some of these, what they're calling defects, and they are defects, don't get me wrong, but they are so minor. But again, they're not going to put them out as a perfect knife. So I was glad to hear that their quality control is very good. I let them know from day one that these things needed to be as perfect can be, when they reached me, and then I was going to QC them myself each and every knife they got here. So again, that's the good and the bad news. But again, I'm looking at it as a positive because this is my first, my first run at this, right? I want to make sure they are as good and perfect as they can be when they get in hand to everybody. So.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, especially being your first drop, it's important that the knives go out, and everybody is happy with them. I mean, even when people, look them over by hand and all that kind of stuff, there's still the possibility that, something could slip through. But if they caught something at the factory and they're going to fix it,
and these were not
worth waiting for.
And these were not mechanical defects of any kind. These were cosmetic defects on a part of the blade that honestly you can't even see. And they did a good job explaining it to me because I was a little hot under the collar, when I first heard it. But if any of you guys see on my Instagram, if you remember maybe about a month or so ago, I showed some pictures and video of the way they make these blades. And again, I make knives here in my, little shop, and I do it the way any small maker does, where they get a bar, right? And they're getting either water jet cut out or bandsaw cutting them like I am, one little kind of bar at a time. Well, these guys are getting 24-inch thick steel, right? And they're cutting out the actual shape of the blade that's that thick, and then they're slicing it down. So there's imperfections in the middle sometimes of that steel, right? It's supposed to be one homogeneous piece and everything's supposed to be blended, for lack of better words, perfectly. Right. Sometimes there's little air pockets, swirls, grain imperfections, whatever it might be. And those don't show up sometimes until you've grounded down, re-grounded down, finally polished, and then those things show up. So, and that's kind of what happened here with these. If you want, I'll throw up some shots of that if you want, or we can wait until later.
No, that's fine. You can go ahead and throw that stuff up now if you like. Perfectly fine.
So let me see. So all right, let me see if I can get this up here.
I can actually put them on the stream.
Oh, the ones that are on there. Yeah, I think you have to do it since I loaded them there.
Yeah, no worries. I see them. I think I can add them in.
There you go. So those are about 75 or 100 that are completely done. They're ready to go. They QC'd. They're perfect. Everything going great on that video there.
Yep.
So the next one you're going to see.
That's this one. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Or some other ones. Oh, were those both the same video? Then
I think they were actually. Okay, that's okay though. The knives look beautiful. I'm having fun looking at them.
So the other one, the third one, and if I didn't put the other one up, that's my mistake. I'll share my.
You did. There's another one.
So these are blades, and you can see if you want to pause this. Oh, I don't know if you
hold
can,
on, sorry. I'll go back to it.
Yeah, if you can pause that, and you can see that little mark that they have circled, those are two tiny little like shadows, and most of the blades, that's what they have. Again, you really can't see that. That's the part that comes behind the the ricasso of the knife. It's by the detent right there.
Right.
It's totally cosmetic.
Sure. I mean, I have one of the prototypes here, and you could see that area where the detent ball is definitely not something that you can really see, but I get it. Yep.
Yeah, so these are things, again, on a positive note, that they took, very seriously, and they're calling it a defect, a cosmetic defect, and they're not going to let these go out. So where this starts to get tricky and where there's a delay is apparently the M390 steel that these are made out of is pretty hard to come by right now. When they ordered this, they had to order it, and it was about a 4 to 5 week order time from Bowler.
Mm-hmm.
They got it. So the long and short of it is that they are going to send me. So here's some more good news out of this whole thing. They're going to send me 10 or so of these finished knives, which I'm not going to put out right away, but they're going to have them in my hand apparently in the next 2 weeks. 10. I'm going to hold on to those. I'm going to kind of do something special with those somewhere down the road, whether it's having them anode or laser engraved, which I'll show you some of the stuff that I've been kind of playing and practicing with. But what they're going to do, and this is kind of an announcement, and I'll be making some changes on the website too. They are going to remake all 300 blades. They have all the frames, all the handles, everything else is made. They're going to remake 300 blades out of 20 CV.
Oh, that makes me actually happy because I like M390, but I'm a big fan of 20 CV.
Yeah. So they happen to have 20 CV. They got their hands on it. They're gonna start remaking them tomorrow. 300 new blades in 20 CV. So that's kind of the news, right? The M390 goes away. 20 CV is what it'll be replaced with. Everything else will be the same. But again, I will have 10 M390 blades in hand. And like I said, it's yet to be determined what I'm going to do with these somewhere down the road. And I think after the drop happens, after everybody who wants to order gets a chance to order, like I said, I'm either going to send these things out to have them kind of anode, or at least half of them, right? And then kind of sell, auction, do something, with them that way.
Yeah, you'd have some exclusives, right? You'd have some
exclusive stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's cool. I mean, no one's gonna, trust me. No one in the knife community is gonna get upset that they're getting 20 CV instead of M390. I mean, one, they're very similar steels.
Yeah.
I'm a big Crucible steels fan too, so I don't think you're gonna have any trouble going from 20 CV to M390. There's a lot of drops out there done with M390, so that'll be great. And it's really good that they're going to do that for you, and it'll leave you with some, like I said, you'll get some exclusive knives that you can.
Yeah, and down the road, like I said, I'll be doing maybe something special again. I can show this. This is the laser I've been kind of playing with. This is.
Let me get you back on full screen. Hold on. Let me drop this out here. There we go.
Yeah, I have a bunch of
on full screen.
Yeah, I had a bunch of scrapped titanium handles that I had in house from doing, and I was playing with the laser. So. I get it. So this is deep etch on some of these handle.
That looks really cool. That honeycomb pattern.
The honeycomb, little flower pattern, the tiger stripes, just some things. So, I might do some kind of stuff like that at some point on a few of these M390 versions that I get here and this and that. Just some, something fun, play around and again, have something that nobody else is going to have, right? These one-offs.
Yeah, no, totally cool. I mean, I think once the initial knives get in people's hands and they see how good they actually are and how well designed they are, then it's always exciting for somebody who already likes the basic knife, who already says, man, I really love this one, but I'd like to have one with a laser etched handle or anodized, scales or, whatever, custom color clip, whatever that might be. So that should be pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, with the laser that I've been playing around with some of the stuff, I'll have the ability to do some custom stuff on those. Where if somebody, wants their name on the inside of the scale, or something, I'll have the ability to do that. Again, these will be one-offs, just make it all that much more special. That to have those 10 that, in essence, shouldn't even be around. So
Sure. Hey, I want to circle back around to the laser thing.
yeah.
As we get a little bit further into the broadcast.
Yeah.
But that's all. The delay is obviously not what you wanted, but I think in the end, as long as the knives turn out okay, that's going to be the most important thing.
Yeah, like I said, I as much as I didn't want this delay, and I'm not thrilled about it, I'd be a lot angrier, let's say, if these things came and they had these defects again, even though they're cosmetic, but people were unhappy with it, right? Because it's my name literally on this stuff. I want it to be as perfect as we can get it. And
so brand new American, he just came in. He said, "I'm dumb. Who is this dude?" This is Nick Riggi from Riggi Knives out of New Jersey. Nick is a friend of mine. He had a prototype that went around the second half of last year to a lot of knife channels. We all raved about it. The Riggi jersey. I actually bought one of the prototypes from Nick because I love the knife so much. And he is talking to us today about trying to get to the finish line on getting these knives into production. Nick also is a custom knife maker. He made for quite a few years, he made knives himself and decided to dive into the production knife community, if you want to call it that. So that is who you're looking at on the screen there, brand new American. Yes, it says Nick is a friend of the community too. That is totally true, 100%. But that's why we did this broadcast, because there's some people in here. I've got a lot of new subscribers since the last time you came. There's some people in here who probably weren't familiar with you, probably weren't familiar with the knife. You can go back on my channel, guys, under the knife reviews playlist and look up the Riggi jersey. I did a review on it. Grumpy did a review on it. Brandon Thrasher did. A whole bunch of people did one, and everybody really loved this knife. So I have the man himself on here on the broadcast today talking about trying to get to the finish line on producing a knife. Last time we talked a lot about how tough the process has been, and I think you could definitely attest that has not sort of eased up as you've gone through this process.
Yeah, with everything that's going on, with the economy and overseas, that all kind of trickles down to everything, right? That's
sure.
Talk about, again, fortunately, my schedule is a little weirder than most people, right? I'm usually asleep, honestly, at this point. That's why I'm not on these things. I'm up at 3 o'clock or 3:15 Eastern time every day. My call this morning to China was at 3:40 this morning Eastern time. I spent an hour on the phone on a Zoom call this morning, actually, with them. That's when 90% of these conversations, emails, Zoom calls that I've had in the last year plus happen in the middle of the night, kind of thing. Like I said, it works out that that's my schedule anyway. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. Worrying about custom stuff every time they sent us samples and all these other things. I have to pre-fill out all just stuff that I'm not used to doing. Right? Again, this is my first time doing this. You learn a lot as you go, and some's good, some is bad, but it's all a learning experience. So I take it all as a positive at the end of the day.
Sure. I mean, one of the things that I would say is, we talked about this last time, is people don't realize like how long it takes to get this process in play. I mean, I'm sure as time goes on, that timeline might shrink a little bit, but just to refresh some of the people's minds here, when did you first start creating this knife and deciding that you were going to go into a production to try to get into a production knife?
So I made this knife as a one-off handmade, probably about little over 2 years ago. I went through probably 10 different iterations of it before I was happy, scrapped a lot of blades, scrapped a lot of titanium, went through, and then I made and sold about 10 handmade jerseys. And that's when I said, you know what, I like this design. People kind of like it. The once they got it in hand, they liked it. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I always, wanted to have a knife out there, that 100 people or 200 people can get their hands on.
Yep.
And I started the process. I was out interviewing these OEMs, going through the process, and finally hooked up with Shieldon and kind of pulled the trigger on that. But that was about 15 months ago, honestly.
Yeah.
And that was such a long process. And again, I think I did things again through not knowing, that probably took longer. Like once I got the prototypes in hand, I let some of my friends local here kind of play with them for like a month, and I sat on them, did that, waiting for feedback. Then I sent them out to you guys, all the reviewers, right? David Cam reached out to me, and I sent him out. And then that process, and I didn't do anything. I didn't give them any responses, any, yes, let's go ahead with the run or anything, until every single reviewer that got sent those knives got them in hand, did their reviews, gave me their feedback. And then, I took all the notes of everybody. As I made some changes based on what people said and felt and thought, should be.
I mean, you made a change to that knife. One, change that I suggested, which I was kind of shocked about, but I was like, okay, cool. One of my contributions to reviewing the knife ended up being part of the final production knife. So,
absolutely. Look, and that's part of the process. You got to be open-minded, right? As much as you want to say it's my design and this is what it is, if it could be better, that's what everybody wants, right? I would hope everybody as a designer, as a maker wants. And the advice you gave and the suggestion you gave made absolute sense. Yes.
Right. That, I think that's the thing that amazed me too, is that when I got the prototype, one of the prototypes in my hand, I was like, this is an amazing knife just the way it is. But if you did this little change, you'd help make one aspect of the knife better without having to increase the cost in any way. Yeah. And then obviously there were a few other small changes that you made to the knife as well. Some were your changes, some were changes from other people in the community. The production knife, for those of you who don't know, the production knife is going to have an actual milled clip on it instead of a wire clip. There's going to be a little bit of change to the logoing, right? The laser logoing on here, which actually looks nicer. There's a couple different blade configurations, including stone washed and blasted satin, I think. And then the interior milling that was going to be added to the knife, my suggestion to Nick was that it be added in a certain spot so that the knife, which already has very good balance and is close to being almost perfectly balanced, would be more balanced than it already was. And that was something that Nick, all those changes that were suggested and that he decided on were all taken to heart. So I think you're going to go from a very, very good knife that was very impressive at the beginning to a really great knife that has a lot of good changes to it. And kudos to you for taking in some of that input and offering the knives up for a while to everybody. That's very important, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. I appreciate that. And it's much appreciated. But look, again, I've learned a lot of things. I look at the guys like, Kevin over at, Lefty EDC, and those guys are pumping out knives like mad now, right? They have it down pat on how to work with these OEMs and stuff. They have two or three.
And they weren't without a couple of hiccups along the way. They had some.
Yeah, he told me about all the trials and tribulations they have too. Again, but now they're on their fourth or fifth or sixth kind of iteration with several different OEMs. They have a good knowledge, right? Knowledge that I probably still don't even have to the level that they have. And I'm hoping that, it does get easier the next time around. I definitely don't want it to be a year plus process. I have a second design that once I get these things in hand, I want to shoot that design over, kind of get them working on it. I have some other ideas possibly to do a second run on the jersey based on how the feedback and reception is off the first one, then maybe and we talked about this last time, maybe a more budget version, right?
Yep.
The full titanium high end is still coming in at a pretty good price, but I want to have something that's going to be about half that cost, just over $100 or around $100. That's going to have 14C and maybe micarta or G10 as a liner lock.
Right. And then you also talked about the possibility of doing a slightly scaled up version of the knife so that people with bigger hands would have an opportunity to
Absolutely.
get into one as well. And I think that would be great. And I would love to see a prototype of one of those because I love the knife the way it sets, but I would be one of those people who would certainly be interested in a little bigger version. Do you have any insights on what else you have coming down the pipeline as far as knives? I want to circle back to the laser etching thing in a few minutes, but as far as knives, you said you had some other design ideas.
Yeah, so I have about 5 working folding knife designs that I've produced by hand here in my shop that I can certainly put out there into production at any point. But again, I really want to kind of get the jersey first and foremost out if I can. Again, if the reception is good and people like it, like you said, what I'm thinking is a liner lock micarta G10 version, a larger version, maybe 3.5 or 3.6 inch blade, somewhere in that range.
Yep.
And then maybe one other iteration of a blade shape, nothing real drastic, not a karambit or anything like that, but maybe a clip point or maybe a sheep foot kind of combination, just something, again, as a maker, as a designer, you kind of want to get out to the masses as much as you can, right? Not everybody wants a titanium, knife. Not everybody wants a drop point hunter style. Not everybody wants a 3-inch blade, right? But you have to pick and choose your battles, right? So again, based on what I hear once this comes out, I'll kind of make those decisions on which road to go down with some other iterations here.
Well, I mean, you're definitely going to keep my wallet a little lighter over the next couple years because I'm a big fan of your knife designs. I've looked at some of the other knives, that you've designed over time. And this knife here was really well thought out. One of the things I kept coming back to was it had great hand feel. And even though it's an elegant, clean looking design, it's 100% fully functional. This is a knife you could stick in your pocket and carry every single day. I carried this one for months when I got it from you. And, and that was probably the thing that struck me the most. I'm not a person who, I don't really have hardly any safe queen knives, so to speak. Yeah. I carry my knives and I use them and I do rotate them in and out regularly, but this is definitely the kind of knife that, people are going to put in their pockets and they're going to keep in their pockets.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I wanted. Look, and I have safe queens, again, I'm carrying a skiff, today I'll carry it. It doesn't get the hard use, but I've been carrying of the 6 jersey prototypes that I have. I actually have like 3 left. One of them is actually on my website for sale too. I actually did sell a couple of them. Again, I didn't do all of them. One of them is still up for sale, but I carry a jersey prototype every day and I hard use it. The night, I'll be honest with you, I've not sharpened the blade yet. And again, I know it's a completely different blade steel that's going to come out on the production version, but on these prototypes, I've not even sharpened. I strop it, it gets the blade. Rock
Same
solid.
here.
No issue. The blade has not moved as far as it's been at 30%. It's still at 30%. 7 months later, cutting hundreds upon hundreds of boxes, straps, all kinds of stuff over these last 6-7 months.
So for the people who don't know, who weren't in here the first time that you came on to the live several months back, the production, the prototype, these samples that Nick had made had 14C28N steel. And I've used the heck out of my knife, and same thing. All I've ever had to do with that knife is strop it occasionally, and it's held a great working edge, no chipping, no rolling, none of that stuff. So that bodes well for a budget version of the jersey later, a 14C budget version with micarta or G10 scales and a liner lock, etc. So anyway, that, I think all of that is exciting news. So I did want to circle back around to the laser etching machine that you got. So tell us a little bit about that and what your plans are for that. Obviously, if you go to Nick's website, and if somebody could throw Nick's site up again here in the stream, that would be great. You will see that he has some coins and some different stuff, but tell me what the genesis of all that was. Obviously not an inexpensive toy.
Yeah. So I started out with a cheaper laser a couple of years ago, was playing with it, learning it. doing some stuff with it, but it was a step above a toy, or maybe a toy and a half, right? It wasn't anything to write home about. I've been wanting a fiber laser for a while, and really the impetus there was to do something knife related. Anybody who sees me on Instagram knows there hasn't been a ton of knife related stuff. I've been showing the laser stuff, but I've been teaching myself all of that and learning that stuff so I can use it for a couple different things, right? To do these coins and stuff, which people obviously really want. There's going to be, and there already is up on the website, a ton of, these are titanium coins, upside down here, to go with the jersey. They'll be available. I also have other coins that are, different designs that'll have, all kinds of different things. Here's one for and kind of looks like your triangle logo there. Different.
Yeah, it does. I like it.
But then
it looks really cool.
Yeah, and these are all cut out by hand by me. I have larger billets of steel. I have the titanium. These are aluminum. I have all the stuff. I'm cutting these out. I'm getting the shape on the laser, and then I'm literally cutting these out the way I was hand cutting knives and blades out here, and then finishing them. Some other little bit of cool stuff. I don't know if you can see this. Anybody who sees me on Instagram will see that. With titanium, you get this. Right? You can do some color, and this is kind of where I want to get to on the knives. And you gotta get it in the light just right. But
I see it. Yeah,
this
you can see all the prismatic colors. That's really cool.
You have skin color on there and different sharp colors, and this is all smudged and everything. If you shine this up, it looks incredible on there. But that's kind of the thing there. I want to kind of get to use the laser, not only for this stuff, but then to do some custom things on these knives, which people have been asking me for years. Can you put my name on the knife? Can you put my wife and I's name and anniversary on a kitchen knife when I was doing it? Can you, engrave whatever on there, my dog's face? And the answer was always no, right? This fiber laser, and I kind of want to get my money's worth out of it and pay for it, because it wasn't cheap or anything. But I want to be able to do that, right? I want to be able to kind of get things to people that people want here. So
sure,
and I'm having fun doing it. There's a lot of learning there.
I can tell you've been having a blast. I've been watching all the stuff you posted. Yes. You have a question here from Dawn. She wants to know size comparison. Is the jersey similar in size to my Sativian? So Dawn, the answer to that would be yes. This is a 3-inch bladed knife. It has a really good size handle on it. Everybody here on my channel knows I have large glove size hands. I can get all 4 fingers on this knife easily. Now, if you have really, really big paws, like a grumpy grunt or a cue ball or Matisfaction, you're probably gonna be hanging off the back. But this is very similar size wise. I would say this is very close, Dawn, to the Sativian that you bought. Fantastic knife overall. And Nick had mentioned before that he wanted to create a knife that was a good size that you could EDC and yet be fully functional and very elegant looking. And that's really what he came up with here. But yes, size wise, this is very, very close to your Sativian. I would say maybe just a little bit longer handle in the back here, but similar in an overall size. Yep.
Yeah, just under 8 inches overall.
There you go. Yeah, 7 7/8 or 7.3 or something, 7.5 or something like that. Let's see. Joe doesn't do Doom. They're talking about some laser work. I like the looks of it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very popular knife. Like I said, even though there's a little bit of a delay. And I know you plan on going on some other people's channels too. I would love to have you back for a short visit right when the knives get ready to drop so that you can actually hold up a few production samples and show them off to people. That would be fantastic. Even if we do
100%. I'll definitely keep you and the group here in the loop. I'll let you know as soon as these 10 hit my hands again, hopefully in the next 2.5 weeks. I'll update the website and everything with all the new information as far as the blade steel that it's going to be. I'll absolutely keep everybody in the community apprised of everything. Cool.
Very, very cool. Yeah. So I would encourage everybody to go check out Nick's websites. He's on Instagram. He has a website for his knives, and he has a lot of samples of some of the laser work coins and stuff that he's been doing. please go check that out. And also, just keep an ear out for the release of the actual production knives. It's going to be very soon. It's not going to be much longer now. I remember when we were sitting down doing the first talk about this last year, you're like, I don't really want to talk the knives up too much because I don't want to, not have them in hand. And that turned out to be a smart idea. Because look where we are now. You're pretty close, very close now.
Yeah, because I've seen it happen with different makers, where they put it out and they take people's money and then it's a 6. And it's happened to me too, right? I did it not too long ago with a knife. I waited 9 months after I paid $400. I just didn't want to do that, right? And I was even talking about doing a pre-order, like a deposit. At this point, when they come in hand, I'm going to put them up. People can buy them. I'm going to ship them. Now, we're at that point.
I have a question real quick before we close this segment of the show for you. You had mentioned that you're going to sell the knives on your site, and there's a link to the knives on his site right now. And obviously the specs will change. Most of them are going to be in 20 CV, and then there'll be some special offerings of some M390s. But is there still the possibility that White Mountain Knives is going to take a small amount of those?
There is. So what I was planning on, whether, I have 300 coming, right? So if I sell 300 of them in like 2 days after I start releasing on the website, White Mountain Knives may not get any, right? If it goes, a week and I have, 25 or 30 left, what I was going to do was literally give him, and he said, I'll take 5 or I'll take 50 if you have them and sell them here. So
gotcha.
I want to get him some amount. I just don't know what that amount is going to be. Like I said, if you guys kind of blow everything up here and clean me out of knives in a day or two, they might not get anything, right? Like I said, if it goes, a week and I see there's still a fair amount, I'm absolutely going to let him get some and have some up on the site. He's been great to me. He put the kind of, notice of them out there up a while ago and kind of, got the word out and things like that. So as long as it works out, I do want to put some in his hand there.
Right. Well, certainly, I mean, your hope would be to put them up and sell them all out in the first few days. But if you sell 70% of them and you send 30% of them over to White Mountain Knives, that's still good exposure for you, as a brand. So
exactly,
very much appreciate that. And I think that either way, that'll be a good thing for you. I did want to talk really briefly about the Arizona Knife Meetup before I closed out this portion of the show, just because it does tie a little bit into what Nick is doing with his knife. So this past weekend, we had our quarterly Arizona Knife Meetup. It was a little rough because we had a few things going on behind the scenes, but we actually reached out to Doug Ritter, who lives in Phoenix, in the greater Phoenix area. And he very graciously decided to come down and spend a couple hours with us. We wish that we could have had him there a little longer, and he did agree to come back. But I think the tie-in here to what you're doing, Nick, is he was talking about how he's got some things coming up that'll be ready right before Blade show, so people will get to see some new design from him. But he kind of said the same thing. He goes, it's taken almost 2 years to go from a concept to the point where he's about to be able to show people these new knives and this new design of his. And a lot of people in the community, know Doug from kniferights.org, but it was really interesting to talk behind the scenes to him, and something a lot of people might not know about. So Original Goat does a lot of aftermarket scales for lots of different knives, including the Doug Ritter RSK and now the Mini RSK. But they didn't have to do this. They actually reached out to Doug and worked on those scales with him. And basically he was 100% fully on board with that. But he said even that project took a fairly long time frame to go from a concept. Now, this was already a knife that existed, to getting all those aftermarket scales, done, all the different designs done and all that. And now they are available right now to people. So I just want to remind everybody, it's a long road, but the payoff at the end, which is very soon coming up very quickly, this much, should be a good one for sure.
Yeah, no, 100% agreed. Like I said, and these guys have been great to work with over at Shieldon. I know there's a lot of great OEMs over there, and these guys have a gigantic factory. They actually have like 2 factories. They were showing me some of the videos of that stuff. It's not what everybody thinks, right? They have 18 giant CNC machines, and these things are like bigger than the room that I'm in now here, each one of them. They're huge, right. And they have these things running 24/7 just about. They're making their own knives. They're actually working with a bunch of different makers now to do OEM work. I think they're actively working right now with like 6 OEMs, and they may be one of the smaller OEMs, right? There's Me, which is huge, Kaiser, which is huge, Kubi, Riot, certainly. There's a ton of these guys. They're all busy right now. The problem also is, like I said, with the M390s, some of the materials, because of different things going on throughout the world, are just harder to get. Things are taking longer. So, yeah, there's all kinds of different things that affect, everything's a pipeline somewhere that gets bottlenecked sometimes.
All right. Well, anything else you want to mention before we move on to some other stuff?
No. Again, I
want
to thank you. I want to thank everybody. This community has been great. The support that everybody gives and things that you guys have done. I can't say enough.
Well, like I said, it's easy to do that when you believe in a knife design. And all of my contemporaries in the knife community that handled that knife, and a lot of people that I've showed it to since then, all said, I would buy this. So I think once you get those production samples, the actual production knives available for folks, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I think they're going to sell pretty well.
Yeah, good. And like I said, I'm pumping out coins a couple times a week, so there'll be plenty of those to go around, all different styles. So yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I encourage you to stick around as long as you can, Nick. Let us know when you have to go.
Let the dogs out, but I'll be sticking around.
Yeah. And I'm gonna definitely move on to a couple other parts of the show. Thank you, Nick, for coming on. So there you have it, guys. We'll bring Nick back on, hopefully here in another 3-4 weeks when he gets a little closer and he's got some of the real knives in his hand. But hope you enjoyed that. It was very informative, and keep your eyes peeled for that knife, the Riggi Jersey. All right, so we did shout outs. We had Nick on. Anybody want to take a guess what time it is in the show? Anybody? By the way, here's the April WOM right there. Words of the month. Collect them all for a chance to win a special grand prize at the end of the year. Anybody want to take a guess what time it is? Anybody want to take a guess? Guesses? We will look at Minions Carry Knives in a few minutes. I just want to see Drunken Knife Reviews. There you go. Bluminati Ninja. My good friend Johnny got it right. So let's see. Let's find out what we got going on here. We're gonna do a share for you guys. So for those of you who are new to the stream, there might be a couple of people in here. This is not actual drunk people. This is my fellow knife community members and myself sometimes reviewing knives at half speed. So let's go ahead. We're going to start out with me this week. We're going to start out with one of my videos. So let's take a peek at this sucker running at half speed. And here we go. This is the Wee Mini Malice that I just reviewed recently. Here we go.
And a weight of 3.4 ounces. So not very heavy considering this knife is made out of metal, titanium. Let me tell you what I like about this knife. I've always loved the look and feel of the firm forged designs, especially the Archbishop and the Malice.
It sounds like I had about a 12-pack.
So this is right in my wheelhouse as far as eye candy, as far as appeal of the way that it looks. What it does offer is solid ergos. There's a good size finger choil on the front. The knife feels well. You can get all 4 fingers on the knife with my large glove size hands here in hammer grip or in saber Filipino. And then you've got a front choil if you want to move up for a little bit, for some pull cuts or some a little bit more, a little bit more stability up there.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Okay, so the next one, I'm 3 minutes behind. Drunken Eionan. There you go. Drunkle Eionan. So the next one is actually a request. A bunch of people. Bama says, that's how I sounded last night after 3 extra large margaritas. I feel like I ate something slightly illegal. You might have, Iggy. But a lot of folks, when I do these in the last recent months, have been asking me to do Nick Shabazz. So I don't know how much of it we'll watch, but I found a great one. And right off the bat, right from the very beginning, Nick's is extremely funny. So, folks, why the other reason why I do these is because a channel member recommended that I watch a couple of my videos at slow speed, and I did, and they're pretty funny. And I usually pick out a channel or two every week, and I go and I show their videos at half speed. But the other part of doing that is it exposes people here in the live stream to other people's channels. And I don't just want my channel to grow. Obviously, I want new subscribers to my channel, but I also want other people's channels to get good exposure too. Nick is a legend in the knife community. So we're going to do Nick Shabazz. All right. We're going to do Nick Shabazz as requested. Here we go. Let me get this up on the screen for you guys. This was a review he did in June of 2021 called Terrible Knives. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Here's Shabazz. Right from the beginning, it's a winner.
Well, we got some terrible knives, and we're going to look at them live. That's right. It is time for a tradition, if you will, an institution to return to the YouTube. Or
To the YouTube.
This part of the YouTube. Right? I am indeed here. And I am ready to talk to you guys and to show you off some of the terribility that my viewers have said in the last little while. But first, my apologies. Of course, I haven't done one of these in a while. Honestly, there's been a lot of I've been busy, right? And I've been burned out. And I didn't want to do this kind of thing in a time when I was not going to really. So I figured I would take my break. I would do some other stuff, focus on other parts of the channel. But now I'm back and we are being terrible. Absolutely horrible. And we're going to look at some gear. One of the things that people might be asking is, Nick, aren't you a Blade Show? No, actually, I'm not a Blade Show. And unfortunately, I'm not actually a big fan of that fact. I really wish I could be, but unfortunately, work was just completely insane. And, unfortunately, since I do have a day job, that's fortunate, but, I have to do my best to favor that and get things done.
Okay. You can go watch the rest of it, which is pretty freaking hysterical, but you get the idea. I did not realize how funny Nick Shabazz could be at half speed. So there you go, guys. There's a little bit of Drunken Knife Reviews featuring the one, the only, the man, myth, legend, Nick Shabazz. So if you got any other hilarious ones you think would be good, throw them my way. I'll go check them out. But I hope that you guys enjoyed that. It only took literally right from the get-go. He's like, bam, first sentence, you're like, this is gonna be classic. This is gonna be pure gold. So there you go, folks. Nick Shabazz. Anyway, let's see what else have we got to go over, because I'm still trying to recuperate from my brain being all messed up from watching that. We talked about the Arizona Knife Meetup. We did some Drunken Knife reviews. I wanted to show you a couple of things I picked up this week to keep your eyes absolutely love Nick. Play me an ad speed. Apex, I'll tell you what, I will find one of your videos that's really funny and I will feature you next week. Okay? So don't miss it. Yeah, Nick is funny at regular speed, but slow down. He is freaking hilarious. Please what, Michael Morgan? Michael Morgan said, please. Mimo, I don't know what the please is, but you need to do Brian at BCK doing walk and talk. Oh, okay. Okay, let's do that hold on, private chat. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. All right, just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything, guys. Let's see, please. Okay, let me go find this real quick. Hold on a second. If Mimo thinks it's going to be really funny, I'll give you guys a little sampling of it. Let's take that out and let's see if we can find it. So this is let's see, what was this? This is Brian at BCK doing walk and talk. Okay. All right. Well, give me a sec here. I gotta see if I can pull up the channel first. I don't know. Give me a link to the channel, Mimo, and maybe. Oh, Blue Creek Knives. Blue Creek Knives. Okay, don't mind me. Okay, Blue Creek Knives. Yes. Jeez. Come on, man. I'm old. You gotta spoon feed me. Okay, Blue Creek Knives, and let's see here. Let's see if we can find it real quick. I don't know. Otherwise, I'll put it in next week. An update from Brian, Knife Nerd Club. Oh, Walk and Talk, episode 1. Okay. Ooh, hold on. Let's get the speed right here. There it is. All right. So let's see about sharing this one. We'll go ahead and give this a try and see what happens. Share screen, Walk and Talk. Okay, here we go. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to give it a go. Yeah, let's get through the intro.
I'm very excited to be bringing you the first episode of Walk and Talk.
It sounds like Christopher Walken. This is perfect.
From Blue Creek Knives, and I'm extremely happy to. Yeah, it's really not that good. But I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys. It was really popular on YouTube, so I just wanted to talk, and I didn't come up with the name Walk and Talk. Somebody else.
Oh my God!
I think it was my but
right. Doesn't he sound like
talk to you
Walken?
guys a little bit about what's going on in the shop this week. I'm working on my office, getting things organized, getting the stock room organized, And
All right. So we got a little glimpse of that because I got a few other things to do in the show. Damn, that is funny, especially at the beginning. He said, I swear to God, right? He's like, I need more cowbell. Hey, Nebby Cloud, how you doing, man? Happy Tuesday to you too. Good to have you in here. So, yeah, what's the opposite of Christopher Reeves? Yeah, Christopher Walken. Dude, that's some funny shit right there. Seriously, that is some funny stuff for sure. I love finding new ones, so I'll go check out a few other ones that you guys recommended too. But I wanted to give you guys a couple of quick updates, and then we're going to get to story time. All right, because we're definitely in here at a little over an hour, so we're in that spot. For some of you who don't know, Mrs. Edge is doing great. She's doing really well. She's finished up radiation and all that, and she's going to be feeling the effects for a few weeks down the road, but she will definitely be recuperating from that and then moving into hopefully the last stages of her treatment. So good news on that front. From my perspective, I need there you go, priceless. I need more K-bar, baby. Right? I got to see if I can get Brian to say that. I need more K-bar. That's what a shout. Of course, brother. Of course. Shout you out anytime. Thank you so much, my friend. And Nebby Cloud gave me a couple of really awesome items as birthday gifts, which I really dig. But anyway, so she's doing as well as can be expected at this point. I have had a serious life-changing back diagnosis recently. We'll see where that all goes in the future. I've got a appointment in May about that, early May, to see with a spinal specialist. We'll see how that goes. But I've also been having another issue that keeps me from sitting very long. Right now I'm sitting on a big fluffy pillow on my chair. And it's definitely causing me problems in all aspects of my life. So I'm fine, mentally and psychologically, as fine as I'm going to be, right? As a Marine and a crazy person in general, but that's it's definitely gonna affect my life. It's definitely gonna affect some of my activity levels, possibly going forward. So with that being said, usually twice a year, I usually take a extended break from doing live streams. One of them will be in the fall, probably in late September, when Mrs. Edge and I go to Patagonia to go fishing and get away for the week with the RV. And I've decided that I'm going to take the month of May off from live streams. I will not be MIA from the knife community. There's two reasons for that. One, because of my health issues that I'm having, which are really affecting me a lot. I mean, they potentially could make it so that I can't go to work. Hopefully that won't happen. But no, it's not that, Troy. And then two is I just can't catch up on knife reviews. I just can't. I can't do it. I have a lot of knives to review. I just picked up a pyrite button lock. I've got a Chernobyl Ant Ironwood, part of the Apex group, to review. I just scored one of my all-time favorite knives, possibly one of my favorite knives that I've owned so far. EMP EDC Nimble X version 2. This thing is freaking amazeballs in every possible way. This knife has exceeded my expectations. I will be doing a review on this pretty soon. But I have a laundry list of knives that I haven't got to yet, and I really need to. So besides the two major health issues I'm dealing with, I'm way behind on knife reviews. And if I don't have to do live streams, and if I have a little bit more time on Tuesday for 4 or 5 weeks away, then I might actually get to finally shoot fully deployed again. And I know some people have asked about that, and I really, really want to get back and reboot that series, Knife Puppet Theater. So for those of you who are new to my channel, if you haven't gone over to my channel and looked at Fully Deployed, there's a playlist for it. Go check it out. it was all knife community fun. It's knife puppets talking to one another. Okay. It's pretty crazy, but it's also all about the knife community. So it should be stuff that makes sense to you in some way. So yeah, fishing. Yes. Now, I'm not going to make fishing videos, but I am going to do some fishing, Sean, over that 4 or 5 week extended break that I plan on taking for May. So there'll be another live stream next week. And then I'm going to take a break for about 4 or 5 weeks and just kind of recharge, try to catch up. And yes, you do got to check out Fully Deployed for sure. It is funny, and I will have some more episodes of it. Hopefully with this break, I'll be able to do that. So I'm not going away. I'm just taking a break. I was originally planning on taking a break in June over Blade Show, but because of our travel plans to go see our kids, I'm not going to Blade Show this year. It does make me sad. I did want to meet a lot of folks in person. There's people who were excited to have me going to Blade Show so that they could get a chance to finally meet and talk to me. I feel bad about that, but it's going to have to wait at least 1 more year. So that is what it is. But I'm going to take a small break, see if I can get my health issues straightened out. And hopefully that will work itself out over the next couple months, and I will be able to get back to a lot of regular activities. But I'm not leaving the knife community or anything like that. I'm just going to take a break for the month of May, maybe even the first week of June. I might come back right after Blade Show, right? I can jump in when there's a lot of content, a lot of new stuff to talk about, and we'll see how that goes. The word of the month. I will give the May word of the month in next week's live stream so that no one will miss the word of the month. By the way, the word of the month for this month is, one more time, snot. Okay, there it is. There it is on the screen. Write it down. All right, so with that being said, it's more about just kind of taking some time to recharge and hopefully get some of these health issues addressed, find out what's going on with my back. I kind of know what's going on with my back, but I don't know what that means for me going forward. Pretty serious though. So hopefully there is some good news on that. What's up, Woodsman? At Sun's Ball Game again. Well, thank you. And don't forget, folks, if you came in here, WAMs may break. No, that's not going to be the WAM for May. But anyway, if you came in here tonight and shared part of your Tuesday with me, I appreciate it. I really, really do. So one more thing to finish up the show. And by the way, guys, I love all you guys. I know that I will see you guys in the live chats on other channels. You know, I watch Cole's channel and I go to Maddie's channel and I try to hit Grumpy's channel up when I have the time. Depends on what days I work. Some live streams are harder for me to catch, Bees on Friday nights, things like that. So, you'll see me around, even though I'm not doing live streams, and there will be more knife content coming out. I have a lot of knives to review, guys, a lot. I hope to put out a couple a week while I'm not doing live streams, at least a couple knife reviews a week. So look forward to that, more knife content. I've got flashlight reviews I want to do. So I just need to set aside some time. And instead of spending part of the day, 4 hours of the day prepping for the live and getting everything set up and writing my notes and laying out knives and all that, I'll be able to actually do some knife reviews as far as content. So I think it'll be a positive in that respect. You guys will have to keep watch on the Minions lair for me while I am away for the month of May. All right, but there will be one more April live stream. Okay. So anyway, okay, Brother Matty gave a call to Arms Who needs a battle buddy. I'm extending a hand up. Please exterminate your pride and reach out. Yes, the knife community is extremely, extremely caring, giving, supportive. A lot of my friends in the knife community have been super supportive of not just now, but over the entire time I've been part of this community. So, if any of you guys have an issue and you need to reach out, even me, right? I can listen too, right? I have my own issues and Mrs. Edge's issues I'm dealing with, but I always have time. If you've ever contacted me about anything, you know that I respond very quickly, and I usually am very receptive to that. The only lone exception to that is me and Drooby Tunes have not been able to hook up. There's a project I want to do, and I kind of think that project probably won't happen until the middle part of the year or the later part of the year, unfortunately. But just because of our scheduling and being able to catch up on it, but it'll be exciting too. So anyway, Minions carry knives. We're going to go look at that real quick, and then we're going to move to the final part of the live stream today. So let's go ahead and let's see, share the screen with, let's see. Oh, I wanted to show this real quick. Troy sent me this. Troy sent me this one here. Troy sent me this one here. He said that, this is how I envision Eionan at story time. And I said, I don't have that many minions yet, but yes, that's pretty much it. So there you go, guys. But let's go ahead and go over and take a quick look at minions carry knives, because I want to do that. I like including that part of the show in here. We got you up there. Let's make sure we got the right setup here. I think it's this one. Oh, it's actually this one. And let's go take a look here. What have we got? Well, this was my most recent post. There we got the original Nimble next to the new Nimble X version 2. I have to tell you guys, the V2 is amazing. It might be the best knife they've put out yet. And some other paraphernalia that I carried on that particular day. But that is hashtag to minions carry knives. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Oh, there it is. Awesome. All right. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got a good looking one here from Lord Needham. He always brings it, and his picks are always great. Good lighting, really solid looking stuff, and always some really superior knives. So I really like that. Here's Rich Kasner throwing out a nice shot. I like that too. Very cool. Tree stabbing Troy with the Forest Hanks. He's got some jank up there too from Jake, it looks like. There's me. Yep. Let's see what we got here. Artificial Safari. That one's already got a like on it. I plan to buy. By the way, if anybody ever decides to sell one of these plain Jane original Bridgeports like this, I'm in. I missed out on the drop again. No cash. There's mine. Yep. What do we got here? Bama. Don't tread on me with a fishing hook in the bill. That is a classic picture. That is freaking awesome. There we go. There's Just Nate throwing out some love. He bought some merchandise off my store, got himself a hoodie, and he's carrying the Pyrite Warncliffe. I bought the black PVD version of that. Awesome little knife. Some more shots of Bama drinking margaritas. All right, let's see what else we got up here. I know we got some new content here somewhere. Ooh, look at this. Another Rich Kasner one. That's nice. I like that. There's another shot of Bama. Some food. I like that. That looks cool. What else we got? What else we got? What do we got for other ones we got for knives? There's guns. Oh, that's nice, man. Oh, that Barlow's sweet. That Barlow's sweet. I think I got to find me one of those. Is that a Rough Rider? What is that? That's pretty cool. What else we got here? We got Nefarious Art Co. That looks pretty cool. That's got a Mighty Hanks on it. EDC Roundtable. Troy's. Lord Needham throwing out some more heat here. He's got all that stuff. 5.5s. Jaegers. More EDC Roundtable stuff. I like it. Another Bama Ninja shot. Got the little Ferrum Forge in there too. So you guys get the picture. If you have not gone and checked out this page, you should. Again, we started this page a little over 2 months ago. There's over 1,200 posts, guys. 1,200 posts. You guys have been killing it. Okay. No minion left behind. There you go, Alan. I like that. That's a good one. Rough Rider RR017. All right, I'm gonna go check it out. Many of you know my very first pocket knife in the original story about my dad giving me my first knife was a Craftsman Barlow single blade. That knife speaks to me a little bit, that RR17. So I will probably go check that out. I'm pretty sure they're pretty inexpensive. But please, if you have an Instagram account and you don't already do so, please hashtag minions carry knives on your posts, your knife posts. Get them up over there. I'd like to keep it mostly knife knife related, but I don't mind the occasional things like Troy's thing or the thing that Nick put up. That's awesome, and I really appreciate it. Okay. Oh, out of stock at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Really? Well, that sucks. All right. Yeah. Whiskey for me. Me too. All right. 420 and some whiskey. Nefarious Art Company, my other page and project. Oh, okay. One Moon. Very good. Well, definitely go check that out. All right. Nefarious Art Co. I love it. I did not know that. Some of you guys have different names over at Instagram, but please go check out One Moon's page over there, Nefarious Art Company. All right. Yeah, $39. If I can find one in stock somewhere, I'll get one. Thank you, Iggy. Very, very much. So anyway, that's that segment of the show. So we're getting toward the end here. So guess what time it is, folks? You're right. You're right too. And so is that person over there. It's story time. Story time, folks. Get your sippy cups, get your blankets, huddle up in a group, get next to your best friend, and we will see what we got for you tonight, right? We will see, because it is story time with Uncle Eionan. All right, guys, so this is a little bit of a tie-in. A little bit of it. Story time. That's right. It is story time. Okay. All right. Woohoo. Grab your whoobies. Get ready for story time. Story time. Right? Story time. All right. So, story time tonight's going to be a little different, but you'll get the picture once I get to the end. How many people out there, I wonder, amongst the knife community are into gaming? Okay. Maybe you're a console person. Maybe you're a computer person. Maybe you're a little bit of both. I used to be way more into gaming than I am now. I still jump on and play World of Warcraft with Mrs. Edge because that's her thing. We played for, I don't know, 8 or 9 years nightly for the Family Guild. But I like console games too. I've had a PS1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't yet own a PS5. But this is part of story time. Alan Graywolf, have a great night, sir. Thank you for stopping in, okay? Chicago Knife Works has the Rough Rider reserved for $37.19. Okay, I'll have to go check that out, Michael. So anyway, yes, I at different points in my life, I have been a pretty serious gamer. So at one point in my life, I had an addiction to a game called Mech Warrior Online. I grew up as a kid doing the old Mech Warrior board games. I loved the story and the mythos behind Mech Warrior. I played every Mech Warrior type of game that ever came out, just about, that I knew about. And when Mech Warrior Online came out, oh gosh, I don't know what it's been now, 12, 15 years, something like that. I fell into a group of people that were all veterans. Everybody initially that came as part of that unit we were all veterans. And our unit name was 4TCR. That was the 4th Tau SETI Rangers. And we were part of the Capellan Confederation, and we basically played in the mythos. We decorated all of our mechs properly. Our unit symbol was emblazoned on the shoulders of all the mechs, and we played as a very close-knit team. We eventually expanded our ranks, and we allowed some other folks in that were really good players, and we felt fit the type of adult gaming community that we wanted to have. Right? Yeah. So there's people throwing up all kinds of stuff now. So yes. So you're going to understand what I mean by this. So the game was being, like a lot of games these days, the game was being developed as we were paying to play it. The universe that they promised us they would build was something that we were funding with our payments and with our monthly purchases and our new mechs and all the things that we decided as a unit to buy. Well, they finally decided to officially launch the game, and they had a launch party. And the launch party ended up being in California, near where my wife and I lived for many, many years. And I decided to go. And what happened was I bought a ticket for the launch party. I stood in line. It was a big deal. They held it at this club. And what they had was they actually had a Mech Warrior tournament where they were going to let different groups or units come in. Well, my unit did not get picked, but I ended up as an alternate. And the day of the tournament, I ended up being added to a group as part of their team. And what it was kind of like there was an alternate me, there was two alternates from another team, and then, so you got to go in and they kind of combined us all as one group. So I go there that day thinking that I'm going to be just going to a launch party and just watching all these people play. They had rows and rows of computers like you see at gaming events that were all set up for people to play on, which had to play on their computer with their gear, their setups. Wasn't expecting that, right? But I'm a Marine, adapt, improvise, overcome, right? When you got one plan and that plan isn't going to work, you got to come up with something else. So I get in there and I'm paired up with a bunch of people that I don't know. And we'd only been able to talk for like maybe a half an hour before we got ready to go. And they said, we need somebody that can run point for this mission. Somebody that can be on the leading edge of our side of the map, because you basically battled until everybody was dead, right? And you controlled the map. And so no one else wanted to do that. And I said, okay, I'll do it. Somebody on the team's got to do it, right? It's just like when you need somebody to walk point in the military, somebody's got to do it. So I go into this match. They drop us in. I'm between two of these big rock formations at the sort of the leading edge of our territory on the map. And I see an enemy mech turn the corner. I get it in my sights. I unload on it. And then a second, a third, and a fourth mech all come through that same pass. So, and this is all being streamed live, right? So needless to say, I get cut down immediately. Gone, I'm out of the game, right? And the mech that ends up killing me, I never get a shot on that. I never get a shot at it. I'm too damaged. Can't get away. I get taken out. I'm the first guy to die. Now, normally that would piss somebody off, and I was disappointed, but I'm the point man. I mean, my job is to let them know where the enemy is, right? So obviously they know where the enemy is. In the end, our team loses. Our last guy cannot shoot down the other enemy mech, which just happens to be the only mech that I didn't get a shot in on. That I did feel bad about. But here's the thing, right? If you don't put yourself out there, if you don't take that chance, right? Sometimes you're going to get shot down, right? And I mean this as an analogy for life. Sometimes you're going to get shot down, right? But you pick yourself up and you keep going, right? So I would relate it to the Rocky Balboa franchise, where he tells his son that nothing hits harder than life, right? He says, nothing's ever going to hit harder than life. It's going to knock you down and keep you there if you let it, right? But it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, right? It's about how hard you can take a hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So that's the point of this story tonight. If you don't try and fail, you'll never know what it takes to succeed, right? You can't be afraid to put yourself out there. You can't be afraid to be the point man sometimes. And I'll tie this into Nick that I had on as a guest tonight. It's a big deal to take your own time, effort, and many tens of thousands of dollars and try to bring a knife that you designed and believe in to market. Okay? You got to be the point man. You got to be the guy out front. You got to be the guy pushing the boundaries and saying, I want to make this a reality. That's what Nick is doing, right? He's a single guy, single knife maker with a small shop, and he has a dream to bring a knife to production. He's the point man. All right. Sometimes as a point man, you're going to fail. But you got to pick yourself up. You got to keep going. No matter what happens to me in my life, that will be my philosophy. That should be yours too. And that's story time for this week. All right. Anyway, there you go. My unit stayed together. We had a lot of successes. We played together for many, many years. The game is mostly not so great anymore. But I will say this, guys. There's a lot to be learned from gaming, right? You wipe in a dungeon or a raid. What do? You come back the next week and you try again. And you progress a little further and you make it through one boss and then you make it through the next boss. And you might die a couple times learning how to get that guy down too. But eventually, you finish the dungeon or the raid or whatever it is that you're doing, right? And there's a sense of accomplishment. So there's something to be learned from gaming, right? Don't give up. Keep pressing forward. Even if you wipe, pick yourself up off the floor and keep going. All right, guys, that's all I got for you this week. I love y'all. I will see you next week. There will be one more broadcast for April, and then I'm going to take a short vacation. So anyway, I hope you guys had a great time this week. I hope you enjoyed hearing from Nick, getting some insight into what it's like to create a knife from scratch and bring it to production. You're going to want to keep your eyes peeled for the Riggi jersey. I love you guys. Everybody stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Stay sharp, everyone.